someone somewhere. Must be this one. Think so. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can see my stats as well?
Yeah,
I
the
think
heart
so.
is up.
Okay.
So the heart, what does it mean? Like
Four
PFR?
pip, pre-flop,
Okay.
aggression factor, number of hands,
Mm-hmm.
which means like I have 29-18, which is okay, I guess.
Sure. It's fun.
Maybe a bit too loose.
Nah, that's fun. It's more like about the opponents then,
Yeah,
but
okay.
we won't have that many hands on them, right? Like, I mean, you can still tell something even from 100 hands. So for
Yeah, I
example,
know.
the your
That's-
girl is here, 18-11. That's very tight.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
but maybe the
And
other stats like the continuation bet numbers and stuff
yeah,
is only
it's
relevant after a
irrelevant.
couple of
Yeah,
hands.
and what you have here is like the three bet range,
Mm-hmm.
fold to three bet. So I kind of never fold to three bets. I'm not sure
Sure,
if that's right.
but
And C bet, fold to C bet.
okay.
That's it. And yeah, the stealing it doesn't matter here.
Mm.
That's my hut for the 50-50
Yeah,
section.
sure.
So let's see. I have goodish kings in the cutoff. I
Yeah.
would say he's raising. I'm calling.
Yeah, you can. In this
What did I
spot,
do?
I think I would re-raise just because.
Okay, I'm re-raising.
Oh, you're re-raising anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Like you,
Oh yeah, because his stack is
the
really
guy,
small.
the guy is short stacked. He's probably a fish. So the kings should be good here.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was the intention.
If
No.
the opener is a regular, then the calling is fine. So
Yeah.
the whole table call is great. Flop
Look
kings.
what I got.
Yeah,
And I
you
re-raise.
should probably just shove here. But
Yeah,
I
I
guess it
think that
doesn't
was
really
the
matter that
question. Do
much.
I really shove here
Of
or
course,
no?
like it doesn't matter if you shove or not.
Not sure why I marked this in actually.
This doesn't.
Oh, I know why. Because I was not sure if three betting was
Okay.
right here.
Yeah, I would say that it depends on the opener if you want to free
Yeah.
bet that kings or not. And if the opener has 100 big blinds, I would be less happy to free bet him because
Yeah.
then the money will go in quite bad if he does happen to have aces. If the opener is tight, then I would also just call. But in this case, it does seem like the opener is a loose fish,
Yeah.
and even if he has aces, you're not going to lose that much money. And then isolating him is fine.
Yeah, maybe I wanted to show off. I'm not sure.
Oh, well played. Well played, well played, sir.
Yeah, there will be some hands in here, which is okay. What do I have? I have weakish kings in the early position. Gonna call here.
That's fine.
Multi-way. Okay. I have my thoughts here is like I have the nut flush draw and I have two blockers, as well as the 9, which also blocks some straights.
The 9 doesn't matter, but okay. I mean, the 9 matters a bit because you have a gut shot here with the 10 against something like aces.
Yeah.
So I would not raise here. I think raising is retarded.
Yes.
That's good. Because
Yes.
the problem is, like, even though you have two kings, it's still very possible for someone to have king 10. It's also very possible someone has ace and is not folding it.
Yeah.
And or
or
queen
maybe
queen
two
plus
pairs.
something else. So the fold equity is pretty low. I think we should just now you bet, okay. So you're kind of saying to the table, I have a straight here.
Yeah. Which is quite possible because like
Sure.
I thought like he was the initial raiser. I called. Now he's slowing down, which means like he's kind of giving up.
Doesn't necessarily mean that, but
Oh.
I mean he could still have bet the flop with like aces,
Yeah.
and then he thinks it's too likely someone has 10-9 or king 10, so he wants to check call. But I don't mind the bets.
Yeah.
I just don't think aces fold here ever. And I also don't think on a blank river they fold ever. Like,
Okay, maybe that's the mistake I made here.
I mean,
But I think I-
it's just like once he calls here, he has aces, right? Every time.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, I was like, okay, there are like 4.50 in the middle, and he has like $4 left, so I'm
but
risking $4.
he's still not gonna fold aces. Oh, he folded. Okay.
I don't know if he has aces here.
Yeah, sure.
It's like,
I mean, I don't think it depends on the level of the opponent, right? Against a good player, I like it because I think a good player should give you credit for 10-9 or King 10 here.
yeah.
But against average
He's a regular.
opponent,
Like he has 12-8, so he's really
but
tight.
that's only 20 hands, right? So
Yeah. So
it doesn't really mean that much.
30 hands.
I would probably not bluff the average opponent here.
Because of the run out.
Not because of the run out, but because of just stylistically. Stylistically. So go back to the turn, because I think that's the key point in the hand. That you decide to bet it. I would probably just check and try to make a flush, and not try to represent King 10, because I don't think it will work often enough. Now that you bet the turn and you get called, maybe you need to bluff the river and just hope he has something like Ace Queen and folds
Especially
it.
like what do I do if he shoves here? I have to fold.
Yeah, but that's unlikely to happen, right? But still, yeah.
You
So I like if we were playing I don't know 100 buy-in or 200 buy-in game against regulars, then I like it. But I don't.
So what you say, like I'm playing way above my.
You're too smart for this table.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I can agree on that. Makes sense. Okay. Oh. That's not a good one, I guess. Okay, I'm calling, obviously.
You can also free bet, but calling is probably better, yeah.
I have a top pair, second kicker, so I'm calling. Or just raising.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think the raise is horrible here. I think it's fine. It just you probably don't want to do this as a standard, but raising here.
I'm not doing that as a standard, actually.
Just if you have some kind of tell that he continuation bets too much and then folds to raises too much, then that's perfectly fine. If you're raising, you're raise folding though. Like that's just like kind of a move to take away the pot cheaply with a hand that blocks some of his strong hands, like top set and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind that. I think it's okay.
I normally don't do that, but I found out that there's so less 3-betting on these limits that they normally give you credit if you 3-bet. And most blind.
Like Apfelstrudel also asks, you 3-bet pre-flop here with useless 6. I didn't say that I would pre-flop 3-bet that pre-flop necessarily, but if you are against a certain type of opponent, then 3-betting a lot of hands, including that one, makes a lot of sense. Like if they are the type that will call always, but then fold to continuation bets 80% of the time, then it makes sense to 3-bet every playable hand, right? Right, you isolate the limper, that's fine.
Yeah, I remember that you said like you don't want to play these hands in multi-way more than in single-handed.
Yeah, it's if the blinds fold and the fish calls, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and I'm in the button.
That's okay.
Okay. Sad face. I think that was the main. I'm not sure. Let's see how this plays out.
So checking is okay. It's you can also bet because on King Queen 6 Rainbow there's not that many hands that can continue, and it depends. Like it's hard to read
I was
likely fish's range for a limp calling under the gun. Just could be anything really.
Yeah, and I was like he might have too many king queen hands which he's not laying down on the flop, and I don't want to barrel him over 2 or 3 streets.
I mean checking is fine, like whatever. If he has nothing, he's just gonna check for the turn anyway, so you can just because you check doesn't mean you necessarily need to give up. So probably call, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
That's a full house.
Yeah. And the car, I guess.
Yeah.
That's fine. If he has something better, that's a cooler.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting to see. If you say if he has something better, it's simply a cooler.
Yeah, I mean, he could easily be value betting Jack 10 here. Like, but I wouldn't raise, because once you raise, you probably just get called by better full houses. But interesting that he plays Ace King like this. I have no idea why. I think for him, betting the turn is okay, but would probably prefer check cards.
Right. So he had Ace King double suited. That's what he has. So
Yeah.
he's min raising.
Yeah.
He was not limping. He was min
Oh, he
raising,
was min raising. My bad.
and which is possibly kind of the same, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, sure.
So he has top pair, top kicker with two backdoors. Now he has
No, he bets
flush.
big. I don't see much value in the bet, to be honest, but okay. Like,
Yeah.
just, you don't need to protect your hand. You have
Yeah.
ace king here. There's no need to protect your hand. You have flush draw and ace king. And you're also unlikely to get much value because.
Yeah, maybe he thinks like, yeah, I think this is a value bet. Like in his eyes, it's a value
Yes,
bet.
but that's way too big. Like,
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you bet, it's basically a full pot bet on
Yeah.
the turn. That's way too big as a
So
value
he
bet.
will always get called by maybe
No, the
not even
problem.
by another flush draw.
The problem is he's just forcing you out of the hand. So if you have a hand that has that is strong dead against him, you're gonna fold.
Yeah.
And if you have something better, you're gonna call. The bet
Yeah.
serves no purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a value bet if you decide to call with a hand like King Jack 10 or something. But I mean, that's very specific.
I don't know why.
And
he's
then
betting
on the
big.
river, it's just
That's
a brain
really-
fart. I mean, that has
Yeah.
no purpose. That bet.
Okay, good. Good to see that I'm not the bad guy in this one.
I want to see hands where you're losing.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
losing big,
I have
big pots.
we can order and search for the big losses as well afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm three betting obviously.
Well, what happened?
He's opening from the button.
Ah, okay. And you're free betting him in position. That's fun, yeah.
Out of position. Getting one caller.
Well-
So yeah, three-handed.
Okay.
Okay.
So the button opened and you free betting for a small bet and the big blind overcalls, right? Is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. So
So that's like, do I really need to be afraid of a 5 here? That
I mean,
that was one of my questions.
the
Like,
the main or the best way, in my opinion, to bet to play on these boards is to bet something very small, like 40 cents or so,
yeah,
because then you kind of can get value from something like kings or queens, or maybe
Yeah.
even a 10 if they're bad, and you can make your decision if someone raises you or calls
Okay.
what to do on the turn. If you're potted here, that's terrible.
yeah,
If you check, that's okay. But then you're probably gonna bet the turn small anyway, so might as well bet the flop.
I was like, I'm just checking it down. I'm not sure if that's true, if that's good.
I mean,
Now he's betting half, but the thing is, like, he has only like 150 left.
sure.
So, and I think that like double checking brings me into like wake spots here.
Well, I don't mind this, and then probably just check call the river.
Lol.
There's still no reason to bet because, like, if he has a 10, he's gonna go in anyway, and
Yeah.
if he doesn't have a 10, he's not gonna call.
Yeah, but maybe he's checking with a 5 normally
Why wouldn't he bet the flop with a 5? Why
because
is he betting the turn with a 5? So I think he has two hands here. Either he has some kind of bluff, maybe a flush draw or something,
yeah,
or just complete nothing, or
Okay.
he has a 10. And against both hands, you maximize the profit by checking.
okay.
Okay, I'm wrong, I guess. I'm talking about sane opponents.
Yeah, he has yeah, he hit kind of lucky for me that he's hitting the ace
Well,
and thinking he's still good probably. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like, and now you see what you done to me and what I had to deal over the last week. And I was always like, am I playing good? Is he playing? I don't know.
I mean, I'm trying to give advice for
Yeah, higher level.
normal players. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you re-raise, I don't think I like that.
Yeah,
It's just too weak of a hand to be re-raising out of position, kind of deep, or not kind of deep, but like normal, 100 big blind deep.
yeah. That's a good hand.
Hit a really good flop, so definitely gonna bet. Nice. He calls, that's fine. The 6 does not complete any obvious draw, or it doesn't complete any draw, I would just pot it here. You pot it, that's good. And he folds. Yeah, that's perfect. So I would not. I would probably not re-raise that type of aces because they're just a bit too weak. But once you did, then kind of fine.
Then you have to go with it, I guess.
Sure.
Nice. So no brain farts on my side so far. Maybe here. No, I think that's fine. It's like overcalling here with the suited aces and middle-ish pair.
Yeah, that's fine.
Flopping.
Nothing.
Yeah, straight draw.
You flop nothing here.
No, that's straight draw.
The problem with this hand is, even though you block the straight, or I mean, there's two possible straights here. Even though you block it, it's still possible someone has it.
Yeah.
The board is connected enough that they don't need a straight to call you here. They can easily call you with trips or a flush draw or something, and you're against 3 other players, and you have a draw, but your draw is worthless or almost worthless because you don't want to draw to a 1-card straight, which will be obvious and will not be the nuts on a 2-flush board against 3 opponents out of position. So your draw has no value, and your top pair has no value here.
Yeah, okay.
So
I checked it, obviously. Everyone else is checking.
I would just check for it usually, but okay, yeah. Maybe you can call like a really small bet, like 10 cents.
Now we have a set, man. A set. Isn't that insane?
That's insane, yeah. I would check. Okay.
So, am I calling here because of... I can't call due to the full house outs, can I?
No. You can't.
And now?
Now you can, yeah. Now you can. Because one thing to consider here is that every time you make a full house here, it will be the nuts or almost the nuts, right?
Yeah.
So if a 7 hits, you're gonna have a good full house.
Yeah.
If the 9 hits, you will have the nuts. If the 6 hits, you will have a good full house. If the 8 hits, you will have quads. So
and you're blocking the 9 as well for the higher full house.
Yeah.
Because I have a 9 in hand.
That helps. Even though the 9 doesn't help because the outs are less, it helps because you will hit the nuts very often if you make a full house. And then there's a high chance someone else is going to pay you off. If one of them has 6, 6, 7, 7 or any 2 pair, which is certainly possible, then you can win a big bet on the river. And now you're almost getting the right price. I mean, I'm not sure. I think you're almost getting the right price here to call. And if
how many outs do we have? It's like 1, 3, 2, which is 6, and 3, which is 9, plus like the 9 is also like two more.
Yeah, then 1 and then the 8. So that's 2.
Yeah, I had the 8 already.
Oh, okay.
Counted the 8 already.
So that's 11 outs.
Which is roughly 25%.
Yeah, and you're getting 1 and 3, so it's close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close enough. Or are you getting 1 and 4? Maybe you're getting the right price. Yeah.
Isn't it telling me down here somewhere?
If you go back 1 step, you will get the odds. Okay, so you're getting the right price, then it's a no-brainer. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So if the button folds, you're not getting the right price. Then you would need implied odds or some kind of read that he's bluffing or something.
Yeah.
But
which I won't have here, and then I'm giving up, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. I mean, you have a straight here, but
that's
not worth a lot. So okay.
What is he doing?
Yeah, the better has the
highest.
nuts on the turn with redraw, and then the button calls with a gut shot and a nut flush draw. I think that's fine, probably. Yeah. Maybe a bit loose.
More aces.
The button. Okay.
Okay, like from the hands I marked so far, I think I have problems with aces, and then how I play them on flop turn river.
Okay.
Because I have how many aces did we have? 3 already? Something like that.
Okay. All right. So you have a multiple pot with now you have aces with the nut flush draw. Okay.
Yeah.
General strategy, I would probably just bet, but it's not great if someone raises you. It's not like a fist pump. Get it in.
No, I'm not happy to get it in. just thinning out the field, I guess.
I mean, the bet is for value because worse draws will call you, like they will call you with hands like Queen X of spades, King 10 with spades. Those hands will call and you're crushing them. So
yeah.
He calls and
he checks.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, okay, I have the Ace of Diamonds, which is blocking.
That doesn't matter.
So, yeah. Okay, so
checking. Check is standard here, yeah, because you don't have any king, you don't have any 10.
Yeah.
Those are really that's a really likely draw for him to have.
And now I'm just folding.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's cheap enough that you could call, but with the hand you have, I would not call because you're not blocking any relevant cards. It's even
king, no 10.
It's bad to have the spades because that's a likely bluffing hand for him. If he calls on the flop with let's say,
so he has less spades in his hand, so he's
I mean, he could still be bluffing, obviously.
Yeah.
Like he could have 10-9 with 10-9 of spades.
But are they ever bluffing with like these pot size, like half pot size bets? I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. But how often will you have? Well, I mean, this is theoretical because the opponent is a complete fish, apparently with 83-17, so it doesn't really matter.
So.
Yeah, sure, but still, I mean, he's probably a fish.
Isildur.
Isildur. Okay. So you want to make sure that you can call often enough once you check the hand on the turn. But I think you can. You will have plenty of like.
Yeah, the thing is also he checked 2 times into me, and then he's donking into me, which is kind of like, I don't know.
That's just.
For me, it looks like it's always a value bet here.
Yeah,
like
it looks strong. It's just you can't be. Sometimes if you're getting such a good price and you have a strong hand, you should just call.
Yeah,
like if you had queens here for a top set, I would never fold to this size because he could be, for all I know, he could be value or block betting something worse.
Yeah, but what I see is like if I call here, I lose 23 big blinds, which is.
I'm not saying you should call with aces. I'm saying it's
okay.
cheap, so I would not fold jacks or queens or 9-9.
Okay.
Those are just hands that should be called because it's possible.
Sure.
It's very possible he bets this size with something like queen jack. It wouldn't surprise me, especially if it's a weaker player. So you need to be careful you don't fold too many really strong hands.
Okay.
But aces is not beating anything, so that's fine.
Got it.
Hey, 9-4 off and Nesario and Rolex color and Shay-Rocks.
How can you see if your eyes are closed?
You can't. But with your mind, if you have some kind of special gift. But let's not go there yet. That's gonna be a special later.
Oh, you have been to the hairdresser.
Yeah.
Nice. What? But no color change.
No, I'm just gonna wait until the blonde grows out, and then I'm going back.
To blue?
No, not to blue. To my normal hair color.
Isn't it blue?
No.
Oh.
Alright, what happened? So
he's limping, and
did he limp? Didn't he check to go? Did he really limp? Okay, he limped. Okay, that's fine.
Man, you have to pay attention if I coach you.
Yeah. So you have a inside.
It's an inside rep.
Yeah.
I know that.
But it's even better because the 6 also gives you the nuts. This is a huge draw. Like this draw is probably like, I mean, I know this draw is a favorite against a set or something. Or 50,
so I was like,
50% against.
Why not raise it?
Sure, makes sense. A lot of fold equity as well.
No.
No.
That's
fine. You're putting in freeway money with a hand that has 50%. So that's fine. I would probably just check and hope it checks around. Nobody is folding. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now I put it in, I guess.
Why do you put it in?
Do you really
you
put it in?
You just car. You just try to hit your hand. Why? That's the spew. You have king high. They are not folding. Why would you raise here?
Okay. You say they're not never folding here?
They're never folding there.
Yeah,
never.
that's probably true.
I mean, the guy's 50 cents behind on the button.
Yeah.
If they have like, I mean, that's not gonna cost you a lot of money to put the money in because you have equity.
Yeah,
Like we
because
have
there's no.
a good equity, but calling is just better. And
Okay.
then the good thing about calling is on the river, if you make a straight, they will just put the money in anyway. So
Yeah,
uh,
true.
I mean,
Yeah, true. You're totally right. Yeah, it kind of fucked me up when I saw this hand. Like he's.
it doesn't
Yeah,
matter what they had or what they had. It's just that
yeah,
king eye is not good here ever.
yeah. Good. I saw a true gambler. I see a huge draw. I bet.
There.
Okay, he's limping.
Mm,
Welcome. I'm isolating.
mm,
I think it's fine.
sure.
Calling.
Okay, flop the nuts. Yeah, that's good.
Could have made it 65, I guess.
Doesn't
Or
matter
even
that
pot it.
much.
Doesn't matter.
That's not
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's not gonna change your win rate at all. So the queen is fine. You probably want to bet here again, just to charge the diamond draw, which is pretty likely. I think that's fine.
It's too small.
No, that's fine. He goes. Okay. So the question is, do we value bet the river? Obviously, right? I think we do.
I didn't. He won.
I mean, just have a hard time seeing him calling out of position with that stack size of a full house. I think if he has
Yeah.
a full house, he's just gonna call in on the river or on the turn. Just gonna check raise all in here.
Yeah.
So I don't think he has a full house here that often.
Yeah. Okay.
And the 6 shouldn't help him that much. And you
Yeah,
just
that's true.
you just value betting. I mean, you're not gonna get. I mean, of course he would have lost extra money, but
Yeah,
that
that doesn't
doesn't
matter.
really
Like,
matter that much. I think there's still a good chance that he can call you with a hand like if he has king 10 with either diamonds or spades, for example,
yeah.
or like ace with a flush draw. Like there's a couple of hands that are bluff catchers, and he's gonna be tempted to call them.
Yeah. How much would you bet here? Like
Or, no, I would just go in. I mean, there's $5 in the pot. He has 273. I guess you can bet like 150, but
Oh,
I don't
yes.
know.
Yeah. Didn't even see that. No.
Like if the guy has 10, then I would just bet like 2 or something. But when he has 273, I think just putting him all in is fine.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. Obviously, it didn't work out.
Yeah. Huge draw. I bet.
Hair lift. Yeah. Okay. So what happened? You raise.
He's
guy-
calling, and he's like, but big blind is coming over the top.
Sure.
I'm calling here. And then this is one of the flops where like, okay, do I really need to be afraid of the full house? I'm always afraid of the full house here.
It's the
Somehow.
thing is it's free-handed,
Yeah.
and the pot is not that big compared to the stacks left. So you just put your money in and pray, I guess.
Like this.
Yeah, like this. On the fold.
He's folded.
And I mean that's you immediately need to mark this guy. Like this is certain. This is a player type of over-aggressive pre-flop, and then like not understanding, like just trying to be aggressive for
Yeah.
no reason. So against these guys, you need to play it a lot different than you would against normal players.
Okay.
So you're just marking him as super aggressive, because there's no hand he should bet fold for that sizing here with his stack. Like he probably had nothing, right? He probably was re-raising.
obviously.
He was re-raising with some trash hand, didn't hit, and bet anyway, full pot, and then folds for a min raise. I mean,
Yeah. He's min raising, he's calling, and I was like, it's a sense, and I have kind of like a
I think
rundown.
that's an easy fold. Problem
okay.
is that I wouldn't mind calling this in the big blind, but I think from the button you're gonna get. I mean, from the small blind you get.
Small blind.
It's a bit worse.
Okay.
Considerably worse. First of all, you need to pay more to see the flop compared to being the big blind,
Yeah.
and then you can
You're
get
not closing the action.
You're not closing the action. You can get re-raised from the big blind. I mean, no, that's not gonna happen super often, but it could happen.
But you can't flop trips.
But how much are the trips here worth? I think they are not that great. Like
Yeah, okay. It's a 4-handed pot.
you can call maybe once or twice, but I wouldn't be super happy with the hand.
Full house.
But that's still not beating the value hands that they bet. Like if one of them, if Alex Salil bets again big here,
yeah,
I think he's representing, or I don't know what he is obviously, but he's representing a better hand than you have.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I would
Queen
probably
8 or Queens.
I would probably not fold the hand, but that's something to keep in mind. So,
okay, that sucks.
Well, it doesn't really suck. I mean, yeah, I think I like that small bet. You can get caught by King Jack or Jack 9 sometimes, and you can just fold if someone raises, I guess. And this guy has the same hand, and I mean, you can see how lucky you were, because he has King 8, you have 10 8.
Yeah.
I mean,
enough
said, right?
Yeah,
this is actually a perfect example of why you shouldn't be calling these hands from the small blind, because you're out of position, and you have the worst hand. So it's gonna be a nightmare.
And he's blocking also my
I mean, it's just a nightmare scenario. And you're never
still winning me money.
And you're never winning the hand if you don't hit. Okay, how did you enter in this pot? I'm wondering.
In this one?
Because the hand is quite bad.
But is he limping or is he? Yeah, he's limping.
And he's not like the stats are 32 and 10 or 9. So he's not like a loose passive fish. He's a tight passive fish.
I limped as well. Well, because I think it was like, okay, when I hit big, I can get all his money. Because he's a fish.
But what are you gonna hit with this hand that takes
like
all the money?
Something like that.
Okay, that's still not that exciting with 2 flush on the board.
I'm excited.
Okay. What? Okay.
Maybe this is where we entered the day where I didn't play that well.
You think?
I'm not sure. Let's find out.
Did you go all in? Okay.
No,
so
I call.
I think
Did you go all in? No, I wouldn't go all in.
I think that's an easy fold.
No, not for me.
The reason for this is that with 2 other people showing interest in the pot, it's very likely someone has a flush draw. So that if you count your outs here, you're seeing that. So what cards could hit that make you a straight? Like a 9, a 10, a queen, and an ace, right? So that's. But you need to reduce that by the flush cards. So that's 4 less. So you're not really in that great shape. Even if you make a flush on a turn, there's still gonna be a river card, which might put a. I mean, if you make the straight by the turn, you can get still sucked out on the river. Or
the problem is
So I mean, I would just fold this pre-flop, but I would also fold the flop. I think there's not enough money in the pot.
Yeah, with him re-raising, I think that's where I was not
if it's 6, if the guy calls, then sure, you can take a card off and see if you get lucky. But
he's re-raising and he's going all in, and I was like, no. What did I have? Yeah.
Not flush draw. I mean, this gonna happen a lot. Someone has a flush draw, someone has a good hand, like top 2 or a set. So I mean, your straight draw is just the value of your straight draw is reduced a lot by the presence of a flush draw, basically.
That's a nice hand.
Yeah, I would re-raise your call. Don't mind it. Not at the look twice because the open is so tight.
Yeah. And he has a lot of money.
Like the open is very tight and is opening from under the gun, so you probably don't want to re-raise that hand actually.
Yeah.
So
because I was this hand is actually worse than it looks, kind of to me.
It's good.
It is still a really good hand, but
again, if you give the guy a range of aces and kings only, then it's not that exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't mind the call here. I think it's fine. And on this flop, you just check folding, right? Hopefully.
I don't think so.
We'll see what happens. I think it's an easy fold. Like, this is not even close.
Okay. I did the right thing. It's not even close. It was close, obviously. It was close to me, otherwise I wouldn't have marked it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's a bit too loose. That's the same opponent opening
Yeah.
with the 16-14 stats. So that's a really tight range, and you're playing from the small blind with bad queens. I just don't think it's gonna play out well for you. Check, mandatory bet, I think, because it's just not gonna have anything here.
Yeah. I was like,
back.
yeah, that's never hitting his range, kind of. Well, never, probably not never.
So when he calls, he probably has a flush draw, and yeah, I like that. Didn't work out, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Okay. Yeah, I was not too sure. I was not.
Nah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's just kind of lucky that he has ace-3 here. But I would just vote from the
I think I was not. I also was not sure because like I got. I had a day where I got called down so many times where I bluffed them and I thought it really made sense what I did.
Yeah.
And they didn't, and they snap called me with a set of with a overpair, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
But a lot of those situations can be avoided if you just play tight pre-flop. Like there was no reason to get involved in the hand, right?
What about this hand?
I think that's fine to limp. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. And now you probably the important thing is though, even though you get in cheaply, you need still to evaluate your hand.
Yeah.
And by the way, why is the guy to your right named like this?
Steindl.
That's pretty funny actually. Because that's my last name. Okay, so even though you have a pair and a flush draw here, I still think I would just check fold this, just because you don't have any nuts outs and you're against 3 other players. Checks around, you make 2 pair. All right. Think I like a bet, but. So I would bet the turn just because nobody bets the flop, and I think the 2 pair is just good. And if it's not good, then you have some equity to improve, like you have a gut shot and you have a flush draw. And now you have the blocker, someone bets. And you probably just pot.
Yeah, if he calls in an amount, I guess.
Why? That's even better.
Why is that? Someone will have a flush.
It's more credible that you have a strong hand.
Oh, you want to go over the top here?
Yeah, I would just pot it here. Okay, I think that's fine. Like, it shows so much strength that I think they will get folds pretty often. Why did you mark this? You just want to show off? How?
No, probably because of the bet on the river.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Because I can't remember this one actually, and I was like surprised.
No, I would be like I would bet the turn.
Why did you mark this?
I mean, like.
Okay, betting the turn. Okay, yeah, makes sense to me. Like,
yeah, I would.
Bet. No one said like I have something here. Yeah. There are many straight draws.
And you can even improve if you get card. You're not gonna get raised very often.
Okay.
But like I think the raise and river is pretty cool. Yeah.
Huge hand. Not that good. Still nice.
Okay. I would prefer to re-raise that, but
yeah.
It's just better to get this heads up.
Yeah.
Okay. Flop pretty good.
Huge hand.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, he never has deuces, does he?
He probably has a 9. But they could also have like aces with the flush draw or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just put the money in, but I would just don't like calling. I think if you want to continue with the hand, you just raise.
Even with a guy with 37 bucks.
What is he gonna have? Like
a 9, a random 9
does
with
it
a deuce.
matter? Are you gonna fold if this guy shoves? Like even against a 9, you have plenty of like if they have like if one of them has ace king queen 9, you're still probably like 45% against that.
Yeah, what about a 9 with a better flush draw?
Yeah, that would suck. But...
And he's in the button, and he's coming over.
But he doesn't have any money left. Like it doesn't matter. Once you put in the 240, you're putting it in against those guys anyway.
Okay.
So
yeah, okay, yeah.
Like, I would just shove. Like, okay, unlucky. But yeah, I think.
Well, I was behind though.
Sure.
far
But you have a
behind.
flush draw.
Yeah, flush draw, yeah.
That's even more reason to isolate.
And he had a full house on the
Yeah,
flop.
sure. Okay.
So
Well,
I wasn't sure if
so
is that a good,
so
do I need to fold here? But you
go
said
go
you're never
back to
gonna
the
fold.
flop. Go back to the flop. So what's important here is that the blind leads, and that doesn't mean that much. I mean, the guy's pretty passive, so maybe it means something, but he's not like just because he bets here with 60 cents doesn't mean he has a full house or a nine. He
Yeah,
can just trying to steal the pot, or
yeah, okay.
maybe he has a nine, or maybe he has a flush draw. Who knows? And then the under the gun raise up raises here. I think the range would be like kings or aces with a flush draw, and then he can also have a nine. Obviously, he's not gonna have deuce that often. So I would
Yeah,
just put the money in because even against a better nine, you have the flush draw, which is probably live, and then like deuce is really unlikely.
okay.
And even if the worst case happens and you run into a nine, you're still gonna have the seven and the six and the five to improve to a full house.
Okay.
So I don't think the equity is that bad, even if you run into a worse hand. I mean, a bad hand for you. So I think
Yeah,
that's
maybe
fine.
I'm folding too much on something like that.
But without the flush draw, it's probably a fold actually.
Yeah, okay.
It's just that the flush draw gives you extra equity against a better nine, which is his most likely hand. And
Yeah.
we can say that the small bet will very often fold as well. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that much. And he doesn't have that much money anyway, so
Yeah, I can see that.
fine.
Okay, button, good aces. Life is good.
Okay.
Two guys before, like in front of me. He's folding and
Sure.
he's calling.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw that hand live on stream when you played it. You just potted it, yeah.
So potting is not good here,
No,
I
it's
guess.
not good.
So you would probably bet 80 or 60 cents.
Yeah, something like that, like 50 cents, 60 cents, just to give
Okay.
him a chance to go all in with a hand like 6, 7, and like you're not folding obviously you're not folding because there's
Yeah,
too much money in the pot already.
yeah,
But you want to give him some room to run a bluff. So when you pot here, he's just gonna continue
fives.
with the 5, and maybe he's gonna put the money with something like 6, 7, 8, but like that's also not that great for you. So I would just
Okay,
bet small here. Just like
okay.
in this case, it wouldn't have mattered, but
But then you bet small, and if he goes over the top, what are you doing then?
yeah, you just put the money in. I mean, it depends. If he makes a min,
Yeah.
like with his stack size, it's just gonna either fold or go in, most likely.
This is six size. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
you
he
bet
has
50
something like
cents and
first.
then the
Yeah,
money
I see.
goes in, but it can go in better if he raises you with some crappy hand. Because once you bet full pot, it's pretty clear you're not folding it, right? So he's not gonna
Uh-oh.
bluff. Yes, please fold.
Oh, I did.
But
But
why?
why am I... Okay, I wasn't sure if I should fold this. I don't know. Next hand, next hand.
Please fold. No, that's not good. What are you trying to hit?
A deuce.
But is that good in a 4-way pot to hit a deuce if a lot of money goes in?
No, probably.
No, that's not good.
That
That's
looks
really
good to me.
okay.
I have
So
a
what? Like calling your preflop is borderline retarded, by the way. Like if the ace is suited, okay, maybe, but or if the ace is suited, I like it. But just because you have deuces and a check and flush draw is not a good hand multi-way.
yeah, and I have an ace as well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
And I
so
was like, if I hit something, they will never see it coming.
yeah, but the problem is if they have tens or fives here, and one of them, like we are playing against 3 opponents, so if one of them has an ace or tens or fives here, you just lose the stack, drawing that basically.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
so what
Okay,
happened? He bets
um,
a strong bet on the flop into 4 people, and you
yeah,
call. That's fine. And now he makes a small bet.
a really small bet.
Yeah.
And I
So
was like,
it looks
that's
like
always weak.
It looks like a blocking bet with some kind of draw. But what draw could he have?
You can have a flush draw. You can
But you have
have
the ace of clubs.
yeah, but he doesn't know that.
But what kind of flush draw would he bet into 4 people that doesn't have the ace of clubs? I mean, it's pretty hard to read these guys sometimes. So I don't know. Maybe he has a flush draw. I don't know. It looks like he has weak, so you raise. Okay, I guess that's fine. And he calls, and you probably go in here for value. No, you check.
No, because I was like, if he has a any more questions? I was like, if he has a flush draw, and it kind of looks like he has a flush draw, this is weakish bet, then I will always get called by.
But what hand?
I get called by 2 pair probably. Yeah.
But what kind of hand do you think he's gonna bet smart and call the turn with, and then has you beat on the 9? Like there's no hand.
Yeah.
I think there's no hand he would play that way that has a set of deuces beat.
Yeah.
Maybe 3-3 or 5-5 and he's really scared or something. I don't know, but like I just think the chance that he can call with some kind of 2 pair, like he let's say he called the race with. No, he can have something like I don't know, like I mean he's bad, right? So can I have something like top pair with a flush draw, like let's say it's king queen, 10-9 with clubs, and he calls the race, and then he makes 2 pair 10-9 and just puts the money in.
I think I was afraid of ace-4 because I was like, no, wait a minute. Because he can have a random ace and he's in the big line.
Yes, but if he has ace-4, it's just gonna go all in on the turn once you raise. At least that's what I assume.
If he's betting into the field with top pair, third kicker, probably. Oh no,
he has top 2 pairs, so his bet is actually fine.
Okay.
It's just
I didn't even see the 5.
Yeah, I mean his bet on the flop is fine. It's just I just have a hard time seeing him betting this small size, then calling the raise.
Yeah,
not going all in, but calling the raise.
That was odd.
Leaving like this. If you go back, you see the stack size is pretty like. So you just.
Yeah.
If he has a straight here or a set, he's just gonna put the money in, right?
Yeah.
If he wants to continue with the hand, he's just gonna go all in. So once he calls, it looks like he has some kind of weak hand, like a draw most likely, and then the 9 doesn't beat you.
Yeah.
So just give him the chance to improve, maybe improve to 2 pair and then calls it, right?
Yeah, true.
So I think they just missed some value there, but okay, whatever, it's fine. I just think that pre-flop is pretty poor.
Pretty poor.
Okay, so middle position, tight player opens.
Would I like by now? I would just probably I would go over the top. His stack sizes.
It's okay to call. It's okay to reverse. I don't think it's clear cut with this hand.
Yeah.
So you call. It's fine. Yeah. Check. Okay. 6 shouldn't improve him.
Yeah.
So I would bet, but what's the reasoning for checking here for you? Hey, Amy.
Pot control.
But if you bet here 30 cents, do you think you will get raised?
Flush draw? Probably not.
Never.
I don't know. What? You can have kings though.
No. I don't think so. Like,
why
would you check back kings here on king 10-5? It makes no sense.
Yeah, true.
If it's king 5-5, yes, maybe. But I just think if you bet, he will either fold or call. He will never raise. So pot control is not really a concern.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't mind check calling. It's just I would prefer a bit of a stronger hand because on a lot of rivers it's gonna be pretty ugly to play.
Yeah.
So I would just bet and try to take my fold equity. That's actually a great river.
Yeah.
Certainly check call this one.
And now I'm always check calling.
Yeah. There's so many missed stuff that he could bluff with, like 7-8 or spades or something. So yeah, I mean, it kind of worked out to check the turn. I would just generally prefer a bet.
Yeah.
Because you will also have some draws you want to bet there. Like you will have some flush draws and you will have some 7, 8, 9 and stuff. So you want to bet there with a high frequency. So you probably want to include some value hands as well, especially ones that are quite like this hand needs protection. It would be a shame if he checks back with a hand like let's say he has a hand that he would fold to the bet. Let's say he has, I don't know, 7, 6, 3 deuce.
Yeah.
He would fold that to a bet, but you give him a free card, and that hand has like 35-40% equity against you. So.
But didn't you say protecting doesn't work in Omaha?
No, it works. Just this is a spot where it works.
Okay.
There's some spots where it doesn't work. It depends on the hand.
I think it's a loose-ish open here.
That's pretty loose, yeah, but it's fine.
I guess I have to call. I'm not sure. Do I really need to call here out of position versus 2?
No, you don't need to call this. I think I would fold this. Okay. Because the button seems very tight, so he's gonna have a really good hand, and he will be dominated. Even though it looks like your hand is great against aces because you don't have an ace and you're double suited, but it's actually not that good.
Okay.
Against a really tight player, because first of all he's gonna have some king as well, like good kings, and then if he has aces, he probably has something to go with it. Like it's not gonna you see here aces 3-7 rainbow. It's gonna have good aces, like aces jack 10, aces queen 10, maybe suited, maybe double suited, and then you will get into spots where you kind of forced to put your money in. Like this is a perfect spot. Like, okay, I assume the money goes in here, but what if he has aces with hearts? Then you're kind of fucked. So yeah, calling makes no sense, I think. You just raise. You just put the money in. Like that's enough of a hand to put the money in. You don't wanna you don't mind the guy overcalling, but it's like there's no turn where you fold.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see the advantage of letting him continue with something like Jack 10-9 when you can force that hand out of the pot.
Yeah. Okay.
So now you shove with the top 2. I think that's okay. Yeah. Okay. So,
because I was never giving him like 10-9 here.
No, of course not. But it's very. I mean, that's one disadvantage of having such a small sample size, because like it looks like the guy is very tight, but apparently he's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you have 67 hands. That's just not a lot. So it's hard to read him on that hand. Obviously, I think I'm not gonna call it a mistake, but I would just go in on the flop. I don't think there's any turn where you fold, so you might as well put all the money in. And because it's possible. Like let's say you call here, right? And let's say the Russian guy folds, whatever. It's not that.
That one?
Yeah.
Is he Russian?
I don't know. Like,
the Russian guy folds.
It looks Russian to me, so whatever. So let's say this harmonist has aces. Like let's say he just has random aces with no flush draw, and he's just decided, okay, it's queen at 3, it's fine. I'm gonna.
How much is my equity here then?
Against aces with no flush draw?
I'm ahead.
Yeah, 65-70%.
Okay.
If he has aces, deuce, for example, with no heart.
Yeah.
You're in good shape.
Okay. It's good to know.
So that's kind of a value. And since you're not folding the turn anyway, and let's say you call, and the turn is a 9 of hearts. Like he's not gonna be happy to put the last $3.62 in the pot with naked aces on that turn. So you might lose some value.
Yeah,
and on the other hand, you're not folding any turn anyway. So
you
just give him the option.
Okay.
You just give him the option to maybe fold his hand on when you improve to a flush. You give him the option to fold the hand which has 0% equity on the turn, and there's no benefit by just calling.
I didn't notice that I have like such a high percentage against like for example aces, which I have kind of to put him on, or which is like
I mean it's very likely as aces. It's also certainly possibly as aces with the nut flush draw or something, but I mean once you are in the pot, I mean, and you flop top pair with a king high flush draw, you're just going with the hand, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, unlucky I would say. But that's probably too loose of an open for under the gun.
Yeah.
That's
Look at aces again.
okay.
It's strange how often I marked aces actually.
Okay, so
It's a good hand.
that's a bit of a tricky spot, but yeah. I think betting is fine, just checking is fine as well. It doesn't, like, that's not a clear situation. Like, that's not a clear-cut situation. So I bet that's
things
fine.
like, I was like, there are many draws out there.
Sure, but they are not going to fold hands like king, queen, 9 anyway.
Yeah,
so, I
true.
mean, yeah, there's a lot of draws, but by betting, you don't really... Like, the problem is this. Let's say the button has a draw, and he's going to call you.
Yeah.
Like, that situation is not that great. By betting, you don't do anything, actually. Because you're not putting money in ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Like, so you might as well check and but yeah, betting is totally fine, of course. So
and with a jack?
Turn bet is standard, yeah, it's fine. And he calls, okay. And the 7 is pretty bad. So probably check. That makes no sense.
It's a block bet. You know that?
Yeah, but...
Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it, but... just...
I hate it.
It's when... Block
Just
bets...
like, okay, how can I make this awkward? Why not bet $1?
Yeah, I mean...
Then I have to fold. And I was like, maybe it saved me $2 here. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think, like, what is he representing by raising? That's the question.
A flush.
No.
Not?
No. You don't raise a flush here. By raising, he's representing a full house, basically. Like, Jack 10, Jack 7, 10, 10, maybe. But not a flush. I mean, I don't know, like, if the guy is really bad, maybe he raises a nut flush here, but... I don't know. I just also don't see a lot of hands that call twice and then need to bluff.
Yeah, that's a problem here, I guess.
So, like, he would need some kind of hand to call the flop on the turn with, right? If he has a flush, he doesn't need to raise as a bluff. He can just call.
Yeah.
If he has a straight, he probably doesn't need to raise as a bluff. He can just call. If he doesn't believe you.
Do you think he has like 10s here? Would 10s ever play like that? Like just...
Sure, that makes sense. Like...
I'm betting, okay, he's calling.
Yeah, he's calling, just seeing what the turn brings. He has position, it's fine. And then on the jack, there's no read to raise. You just call again.
Yeah.
Sure, makes sense. 5-5, 10-10 make perfect sense. Yeah. Also some kind of jack. Jack 10, jack 7 is...
Yeah.
I mean, he could easily have a full house here. It's
just... I know. That's why I folded in the end.
Yeah, but I don't think the $1 bet does anything on that card. I mean, if the river is not a club, let's say it's a 7 of hearts. Then it makes a bit more sense.
To bet $1.
Yeah, because then we could argue it's a value bet.
Yeah.
With ace jack.
Yeah,
but
true.
On the club, it's not a value bet anymore.
No, the $1 bet doesn't make any sense here. Yeah. I was trying to get fancy, which I did, and then I lost money. It's a fancy play syndrome. You know that?
Sure.
You have this from time to time as well?
No, never.
Never? What, in Hearthstone probably?
No, never. Alright. So what happens here? You raise, get card.
No, get 3-bet.
Sure. Like card, 3-bet, yeah, okay.
Okay, I raise, he's 3-betting me, he's calling, and I was like, okay, guys, let's have some fun. And I'm calling, and he's calling, and then he's folding. I was like, fair enough. Okay. And then this shitty flop comes down.
Yeah, it's ugly, but I mean, there's $9 in the pot, and you have $2, so you just put the money in here.
No, I don't.
Okay. What's the reasoning behind checking it down here?
2 pair.
But 2 pair.
I don't.
Are you check folding?
Probably. It's cash game.
But.
What? Okay, I got punished here.
No, he just you didn't get punished because he would never fold that flop. But like it's weird to check.
Yeah. The
Like
chat is laughing at me.
you just put the money in here. Like I would obviously that's not a great flop for you for aces.
Yeah.
But if you look at the hands they have, you're actually not in that bad of a shape. Like
Are you sure?
You
I
probably
was like, okay, if there is
no like
one guy coming over
look
the top and then one calling and then another one calling and okay, he's folding, but I thought like one of them has to have some kind of rundown middle-ish hand.
well so one guy is all in on anyway, so it doesn't matter that much anymore. So it's about the last $2 against Greg on the button. So I would never check fold this, never in my life, never. I would just put the money in up front. Now that you check and he checks back, why are you not putting the money in on the turn?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I was.
Are you scared of 10-3 or what? I mean, like, once he checks back, he probably doesn't have anything here, so just put the money in for value.
Are you scared of 10-3, he says.
The guy is all in anyway. So the only position is on the flop.
Yeah, I know. I think what happened is I was feeling really good at this point in the hand. I was feeling great at this point in the hand.
Sure.
And then I was feeling even better. And
but
then
like,
that's
okay,
stuff.
let's assume you have $7 here in your stack.
Yeah.
Then check fold is fine, but not for $2.
Okay.
Hey Max Andio, yes, that will be on YouTube.
Hey. Yeah, okay. I think I just, Duldungsstapel.
It's okay, like mistakes happen, but I'm just saying like, that was a clear mistake, I think. Okay. I mean, so as the hand played out, you actually saved $2, but because
and I was really to finish it up. I was really sad at this point of the hand, especially losing against.
I mean,
but this is
like how much equity do you think you have pre-flop against these two hands? I would say like 35% or 40% maximum.
1,500%.
Yeah, like you're a small favorite pre-flop. It's not like having aces
against him or against whom?
Against both hands.
The field.
No, like against
due
those
to the
two
flush
hands.
draws, okay.
They have flush draws. They have connected cards. Like it's not like in Hold'em where if you have aces, I don't know, the best they can have is like 25%. In Omaha, like aces don't mean that much. Yeah, you are ahead here, but it's not that great.
Okay, interesting spot. Okay, so I have to, I think I have to take a look more at how much money is in the pot, how much do I have left, and it's 4-1. Just put it in there.
Sure.
I think I'm kind of. It kind of sounds stupid because we're playing the micros, and I'm normally playing the $100 or like up to $100 it goes, but I'm kind of money scared due to like the progress.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, I can put in like $2 here and $6, but that's still like.
But I mean,
for big lines.
The way to think about it is just view this all as chips. Like, once you sit at the table, it's no longer money. That's just chips.
No, it's for me. It's not about the money, because if it was about the money, I lose $5.
Yeah, it's fine, but like I'm just saying, like the only thing that matters is stack size in relation to the pot. I think like that's the best way to look at it.
Okay, we got next hand a fish. Yeah, we can agree on that.
It looks like a fish, yeah. He limps, you raise, faces, that's fine, yeah. He calls, okay. So flop sucks a bit, but I would still just pot it. He's potting. Alright, yeah, I would put the money in, it's fine. Like you have a gut shot, you have a back to flush draw. So even if he has two pair, that's okay-ish.
So you would put it right in here.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have like, what hands would he have here? I would say that, I mean, it's hard to really know what he thinks, but most people, if they have a straight here, they would just check, right? Or kings or queens or jacks. So we can maybe eliminate some of the really strong hands.
Two pair.
So when he bets here, he probably has a decent hand, but he's kind of scared that, or he has some kind of draw. So if he has some kind of hard flush draw, then you're in great shape. If he has two pair, then it's fine, like it's okay, or small underdog.
Yeah.
And like that's it. And those are more likely than the monsters like ace 10 or 10-9 or whatever. So I don't like calling.
Yeah.
Maybe you can call and then fold on a heart, maybe. I don't know, like. But I would just raise him all in. And he does have ace 10. Okay, well played, sir.
I don't even know.
I mean, like, whatever. You're just gonna make a note on him and that he likes to donk bet for pot size, like to lead into the raise of pot size with the nuts, and move on. Like there's nothing to discuss here. I would say.
Yeah, it's really hard for me as me like learning over that I don't have spots where I say like it's obvious by now.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying this last spot was obvious. Like yeah, it sucks you lost that he had the nuts, but that's the same as re-raising kings and the guy shoves and you call and he has aces. Like you don't think twice about that, right?
Yeah.
In no limit hold'em, I mean, not in Omaha.
Yeah.
So you just shrug it off. Yeah, okay, that happens. Fine.
Yeah, true. Well.
You open this. That's a bit loose, but okay.
I know. I think
it's not the end. Like this open, if you play well, is actually gonna make you some money. I think.
Yeah.
But okay, so if you don't play well, then it's gonna lose you a bit of money. I think.
No, making me money.
Okay, so.
We have a gut shot.
Big blind calls. I think that's a good flop to check back with your hand because you don't need to protect. Like, assume he checks here, and because he should check here. This board is not favoring the big blind calling range. not by any like, not by any definition. So I would expect everybody who can play a little bit of Omaha and understands a little bit about ranges to check here 100% of the range.
Yeah.
So. If he checks, you just check back because you don't need to protect and you would hate to get raised and stuff.
Yeah, and I like to see a card, probably.
Sure. Now he bets, so probably just call. See what he does on the turn. Make a straight. Okay. He bets. I don't see any reason to raise. You don't need to protect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I was like, can he have ace king here?
We can, but like.
I hated the 9. Oh, probably not.
Doesn't matter that much. So he pots. Okay. It's weird, but I would never fold. I would just call. Okay. GG easy, I guess. But yeah, it's important. Like when you play higher stakes, like with 100 or 200 buy-in, even like the unknown players play kind of normal, right? Like they would never do something like this. But on the small stakes, there's a lot of players who play very strange, and then it's important to make a note immediately. So just if you face him again, you can adjust your strategy. All right. So fine.
Insane hand.
Yeah. It would prefer to be heads up, but.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in position. I want to be a heads up, and no one's putting me on that hand. If I like, or they normally put me on aces or whatever.
Well, so I think that's too weak of a hand to do that with. It's fine to do it. Like first of all, the reason to raise for deception shouldn't apply on these stakes because I don't think they will. Like they're not gonna put you on hand anyway. Like this is gonna be pretty. First of all, you're not getting the pots heads up. Like most of the time, both players will call, and maybe someone from the blind calls as well. Like so I would expect that this goes freeway at least most of the time.
And then
you have 9-7-8-6 with one suit in a 4-way or 3-way pot. I mean, that's just not a great situation to be in. even in position. So I think the raise is unnecessary, basically.
Okay. So he's calling. He's coming over the top again.
So that means he has aces,
Yeah.
or he's insane. So easy call because you have.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was not sure. I was like, do I really want to like kind of stack off here? Or?
No, you don't. You just call.
Oh.
Raising makes very little sense because you're
Yeah.
you're very certain that he has aces, right? Like it would require a very special kind of opponent that makes a re-raise here without aces, or at least like ace, king, king, queen.
So he's never. If I don't have fold equity, I'm just calling here.
Yeah, if you go all in here, you're not pushing equity, right?
Yeah.
You don't gain anything by getting Sava out of the hand if he even folds.
Yeah.
So you're better off calling because there's still $2.50 behind, and there are some flops where you will have 0% equity. Like if the flop is deuce free rainbow, you can save that last $2.50.
Yeah.
Of course, on some flops the money will go in anyway. So on this flop you could have saved $2.50.
Yeah,
if you just score, for example, because you have no equity. Yeah. I mean, you have a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor straight draw. So.
No, I have a backdoor.
No equity is a in Omaha. No equity is usually always like 5 or 10% equity. What is going on? Okay, so
he's like overcalling 2 over.
Yeah, that's pretty funny actually. Those look like some great games that we play it. Like, but still, I think the approach is wrong to re-raise that hand. Like, you said your reasoning for free betting this is deception mainly, right?
Yeah.
But
okay.
Why does the deception doesn't matter against the guy who will 4-bet 3-4 deuce, and the other guy who calls off his stack with I don't know what. Like the deception doesn't matter against those guys. You just show them the best hand and then win their money. Very easy strategy. So I would just call this on the button and try to hit the flop, right?
Made my day. This hand made my day. This is great. You have to be. He always has aces unless he's insane.
Yeah, he's insane.
Like,
I even said the disclaimer. Unless he's insane. Yes. Case solved.
Case solved. No further questions. Yeah, I'm re-raising here. Hello.
Don't like it.
Yeah. Okay. I was like.
Well, the problem is if you re-raise here, they will all call.
Yeah, and
then you are in a 4-way pot again, and the hand is not the favorite against. Like the hand is not the favorite in this spot, being out of position against 3 people. At least these aces. Like if you have ace, jack, 10 double suited, that's a different story. But these aces are not playing that great. So once the flop hits, you're just done, right? Yeah.
What about the flush draw here?
Here you have not flush draw. So yeah, I would still check and hope they make a small bet so you can call, but you can't call a full pot size bet. No.
Okay.
So I would hope that they bet like $1 and you can take a card, but you just can't continue.
So calling here is better.
Calling is.
I see that. I think why I marked so many ace hands because I normally tend to 3-bet them. Sure. Unless it's a really weak
I mean, if you're coming from hold'em, that's kind of natural to treat aces like the nuts. But there's a very big difference between good aces and bad aces in Omaha.
Yeah,
like how they should be played.
Like more like set mining.
Yeah, like do you have a nut flush draw? You have a top set potential, so just call. See if the flop is good. If it's not, then just get out.
Okay, I'm in the button with ace, king, jack 10, single suited to the nuts.
Yeah, that's fine. One thing to note is that if the guy is insane, then you just put in a 4-bet.
I don't think he's insane with $15.
Like I'm just saying, if that was the same guy that just 4-bet the deuce for free, then you just put the money in because that hand is 60% against the aggressive re-raiser.
I think the flop is okay-ish against the 3-bet range.
It's fine, yeah. It's a bit awkward because...
That's awkward, yeah.
That doesn't matter. That's a check, basically. It's a bit awkward because like there's quite a bit... Like, if I had 100 big blinds here, that would be a no-brainer all-in. But it's a bit more. It's like 130, 140. And there's another guy in the pot, which probably doesn't have anything, but you can never know. You call... I would probably just raise. Like, just put it in.
I
don't see why you would wanna call. Like, what's the main... Like, why do you think that calling here is good? What are you hoping that this
saving money.
Why? Like, is there any turn you wanna fold if he bets again, which he will? Like, the most likely scenario is that this Ali Mamin dude will just fold or call, whatever, and then on the turn, the Svenno will bet.
Yeah.
And will put you all in. Is there any turn where you want to fold? I mean, maybe a 4 or a 5, potentially.
Yeah.
But even that feels kind of bad, so... because I don't know what he has exactly. He could easily have 6, 7, 8 or something. Like people.
What about us? Yeah.
People do some... Like, people have some connectors.
Yeah, okay.
As well.
So what you say is like I should...
You are calling too much in spots where you don't want to call. You want to decide if your hand is worth playing, and if it is, you just raise all in here. And if it's not, you just fold. That's not the spot where you want to call here, I think. Especially because you put the money in anyway. Like...
Yeah, the thing is, like, now with him coming over the top and him folding, and how much money is in the pot then?
Yeah, a lot.
minus 4, I think, like $10.
Yeah,
$4.
you're getting 3 to 1. Like, you need 25% here. If he shows you his hand...
because I have only 590.
You need to pay 4, and in the pot there will be 6 plus 2,
10.
Plus 4 is 10, plus your 2 is 12. So you need to put 4, and there's 12 in the pot. So it's 3 to 1, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, like if he turns up his hand and he shows you check 5-4, you're still calling, right? So I mean, there's no way you could fold. Like,
yeah, true.
You would only fold against a set, and that's just hard to have when you have a jack. And 4-4 and 5-5 is pretty unlikely. So. I mean, that's fine. Like, you were 40% or so on the flop.
Yeah.
But I was still like that. That's not the first.
Just raise it. Yeah.
That's not the first spot where you just call in a situation where I would just raise or fold, basically.
Good queens under the gun. Raise it and getting re-raised. Calling should be standard. The same flop, actually.
Yeah, but a different hand. The problem with this is a bit worse.
I would check here.
Yeah, but this is a bit worse against something like aces. Just because you have less ability to make 2-pair.
I still want to call this here once. I'm not sure because he's like...
Yeah, that's again a spot where you can't call, really. Like, he's betting full pot. If you call here...
So you want to either go in or...
That depends on the player. Like, if the guy is a loose...
He's a maniac. He's a maniac.
If he's a loose cannon or a maniac, then you just go with that hand. Because there's plenty of hands he can have. And you just raise all in. And if you think he has aces or kings here, the majority of the time, you just fold.
Yeah, I think with him, like... Okay, it's 10 hands, but he's 76-44 with 33% 3-bet in... Like,
over 10 hands. So.
Yeah, I know, but still, it kind of looks like a possible maniac. I'm obviously not happy.
I mean, that's
happened.
That sucks.
Happens.
It's also important. I mean, the hand is not that bad against random aces. You can test that by putting in the. I mean, I can open it right now if you want. You go to the site propokertools.com. And then you can make a simulation. You put in the board, 3 of clubs, jack of diamonds, 5 of
I put it in the
spades.
chat.
Then you put in your hand, queen of spades, jack of spades, queen of clubs, 6 of clubs. And his hand will say ace, ace, star, star. And run it, and you have 29%
I
against
can't
aces.
see it, I think.
Yeah, no, they can't see it. I mean, I guess I can. 1 second. Display capture. Okay, so here, that is the site propokertools.com, and here this is for free. You don't need an account, you just put in the numbers. Go to simulations, select Omaha, and then you can put in ranges, and you can see here star star is just random cards. So we have 29 or almost 30% against kings or aces. And let's say we give him a re-raising range because he's aggressive. Let's say he has 25% of hands, the best 25% of hands. We are actually favorites against that range with the queens. So just a quick way of checking that you're not completely retarded when you put the money in.
Okay.
Right. Let's move on.
Aces again. That's okayish aces, I guess.
Doesn't matter. We open more aces.
Yeah.
It's just how we want to 3-bet or 4-bet them. That's the question. Okay. I would probably just check because you don't need any protection. By betting, you're just probably gonna get caught by full houses and 5x.
Yeah. Now I was like, yeah, it's awkward because like it's a four-handed way.
So the issue is this, okay? Like I'm assuming they are playing kind of okay. By the way, like if they're really bad, then maybe betting makes some sense. But I assume they will not call with Jack 10 of diamonds here. Like Jack 10, 9, 8 with Jack high diamonds. I assume that hand folds on a paired board. So that would be one of the... Like if it was a heads-up pot, it makes sense to bet this hand because you will get called by worse flush draws. But here you will usually get called by full houses only and 5x. And maybe something like kings with a flush draw, but like that's unlikely. So by checking, you keep in the weaker draws, and you don't isolate yourself against better hands only.
I don't know why I bet here.
No, that makes very little sense. He calls. Yeah, it's awkward because it's gonna have a lot of full houses.
Yeah, and I'm putting myself into like hard decisions here again, and giving him the chance to bluff on whatever he would bluff on this. I don't know.
I would say there's no way you're good here. No way. Okay. What the fuck? Why are you marking his hands? To trick me? Are you tricking me? Are you trying to trick me?
No, because it's awkward spots all the time.
No, but like
I don't.
what?
Full value. Yes, we did it. I can't remember this hand actually. I don't know.
Oh, come on. You make it so tough for me to analyze.
I'm sorry, man. I don't. I think it was played poorly, but it got rewarded.
Yeah. I mean, I would
Quite
usually
poorly.
check the flop and check the turn. But you
And
bet.
then call the river.
And then on the river, I'm check folding because I think when he calls twice, he either has a flush or a 5 or a straight, right?
Okay.
So there's no way that he would bluff those hands.
After like analyzing all these hands with you, I got a theory. If someone, let's say even with 10 hands, has something about 40
Why would that matter? Like,
something.
Why would that matter? Like 10 hands?
Because the last 7 guys who did something like that were all maniacs.
Yeah, okay, but okay, so you, but it shouldn't be about the stats. It should be about the amount of hands then. So let's say you're a regular at these games and you know all the other regulars. You have at least 1,000 hands on them. And then you see someone where you don't have any hands.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's kind of...
After a certain amount of time, because maybe they are on vacation and...
Yeah, sure. Like, let's say you're grinding these games for the next 2 months, and then you see someone where you have no hands on them.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can play it a little bit differently and assume they are completely crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe that makes sense, but like, just have a hard time seeing what this guy is even thinking, you know? Like,
I don't know.
maybe he's playing Hold'em or something. Who knows?
Maybe he was Omaha high-low. Okay, he's raising.
Yes.
Re-raising or calling?
I think that's a pretty clear free bet with this hand. That's like that hand is like a top 5% of hands. Like that's a really good hand.
It?
Yeah.
Top 5%?
Yeah.
Without a pair?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really good hand. Like Ace King, double suited, Ace King 10 even. Maybe 5, but like 7 or something.
Okay, I think I had the same read, so I put it in.
But
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if putting
that makes very little sense.
You said it's a top 5 blind.
Yeah, but
blind.
once against a small blind opener, of course that's a free bet for value. But once he 4-bets you, he's saying he has aces.
So I'm calling, and
so I would just call, and if the flop is kind of favorable, then put the rest in. If not, then you just fold.
Okay, let's assume I call here. Then we would have
there's 270 in the middle, and he has like $4 or something.
Yeah, and so, I'm giving up on that flop.
Yeah, probably. Okay, like another trick, but like, I mean.
Another trick. Yeah.
It's like they play so weird that it's hard to even say anything, because.
Maybe we should move on to the 10 cent, 5 cent.
Maybe, because I just against people who play like this, you don't try to read them. You just put the money in when you think you have the best hand. Like,
yeah. What that like things like that. When I tried no limit hold'em cash game every now and then, on the micros, just to learn it, and like hands like these where they caught you with something which I said like he will never have deuce 3 in this.
Then maybe on this limit you can't learn Omaha. Like
shit.
I don't know, because these players don't play logically, or not even close.
Yeah, the thing is it better on 5 cent, 10 cent?
I have no idea. I don't play those I don't play 5 cent, 10 cent, and I don't play 2 cent, 5 cent. So I have no clue. But like a lot of people told me that it's so hard to win any money on the micro stakes because everybody is so tight and so good. Kind of have to disagree there.
Kinda have to disagree. You can still learn equity. Yeah, that's true.
Sure, you can still learn equities, and then you will go to Pro Poker Tools again.
Yeah. And just put in some numbers, I guess.
Yeah, you just put in some numbers. Let's see. Okay, here we have
Ace 6 suited in spades, King 10 in diamonds.
So we have Ace. And then we want to know if that is a favorite game against top 10% of hands.
Yeah.
And it's not, actually. So maybe that was a bit... Oh, the 6 hurts it a lot. If the 6 was like a 9 or higher, it would be a lot better.
Johnny, did you lie?
No, it didn't lie. Okay, it's still a fan free bet. So we'll just assume the guy from the small blind who put in... his money preflop with King 8-8-7, puts his stack in with half the hands, like 50%, right? And then we can see we are here we are 55% favorites preflop.
That's not too much.
Yeah, it's Omaha. It's hard to have a high like it's hard to be a high favorite. Like,
But then I would still do it because it's cash game, right?
sure, you're happy with it, but like then the small blind guy needs to put in 50% of his hands pre-flop. I mean, I think that's pretty likely the way he
How
played
much?
the last one.
How much does he need to put in for us to make it break even? Can you?
Sure, can find the sweet spot. 20% maybe, 15 or so. So with 20%, you're still slightly favored.
But yeah, well, taking the how much rake do we have? We need to take that into account as well.
Okay, so it's like 18 or 90%. Yeah, then maybe he needs to put in 20% of hands with rake. This is not very accurate, so this free side is not the best way of calculating equities. It's just one way, and it's okay, and it's free. So we'll do it like this. But there's plenty of software out there which is quite expensive and can do a better job.
Because of what? We are cheap fucks?
No, because it doesn't really matter that much.
Okay.
If you have...
Okay, got it.
Because you have no clue of knowing how many hands he will be willing to put in pre-flop anyway. Because this guy will come to the table, will lose his money in the first 5 hands, and then he's going to be gone. Like,
remember that guy with deuce 3... 2 deuce 3 4?
Yeah. Exactly.
That could be him.
Yeah, it's not him, it's a different guy. So those guys are just, it's not worth like knowing if it's 20% or 22% because it's just more like, okay.
I'm just closing
general
moving on.
Guidelines, okay.
I have decent kings, good kings. Okay. Well, decent kings, not good.
Yeah, maybe we should like talk the hands, pay a bit more attention to the stats of the players. Because like obviously if Hoyt 1 2 3 here plays with us with the 16-10 stats, that's gonna mean he has a normal hand probably. And then this dude where we have 2 hands on him is gonna be a complete fish.
And he has like, not
okay,
even
so knowing a little bit more about the player pool, this is an easy 4-bet for value, obviously, with the kings.
Yeah, and exactly that's what I thought at that point.
Of course.
It's Muck Man.
Yeah.
Must be a 4-bet here.
Of course.
He's like putting it in, and I'm like, okay.
Let's go, baby.
And I marked it because I was not sure. Maybe because he woke up with aces. I'm not sure. What did he have? Aces. So I was like, is it bad from me to put it in here? But like seeing like all the hands now and all the maniacs.
It's even fine against like he doesn't have a full buy-in. So I would say against a completely unknown player on a higher limit where the fish are not that crazy, then maybe it's slightly bad to put in 100 big blinds with double suited kings. But for 70 big blinds or so, I would always do it.
Okay.
Even on higher stakes.
Let's check that. That's what he had.
But yeah, like, I mean...
it kind of feels like Russian roulette. He could have had deuce before as well.
Like without any information, we just assume he's one of the crazy people who put in like 50% of hands there.
Yeah. With him not having a full stack.
And then king 9 4 double suited does very well against the random hands.
Moving on. It's double suited ace king. I'm calling, I guess.
I think that's a bit loose. Because there's a min raise from under the gun from a pretty tight player, and then there's a free bet from another, like, I don't know if it's tight because it's only 7 hands, but I think that can be folded actually.
Really?
Yeah, because you just, it's not that connected. Like if the deuce was a higher card, like a 10, jack, a queen, then it's a premium hand. But the deuce does not improve the hand at all. So you're just playing your flush draws basically. Yeah,
now I have a gut shot and I have a 2
but the gut shot is pretty poor. If the 5 comes, someone with a 6 will have a straight that's higher than yours. So I would just fold. I think it's too expensive to peel just for and like you're out of position and you're peeling with basically double backdoor flush draw.
Yeah, true.
Because the gut shot is worthless.
Yeah,
top pair is also worthless. Kinda.
Now I have top pair, a gut shot, and the nut flush draw.
Okay.
So I was like, I put it in.
All in, fine. And here's 5-6 or what? Okay. So
Here.
so that's like a major reason why I wanted to fold this hand pre-flop. Yeah. You can see he has a similar hand, just better.
No, worse.
Why is that worse?
Like, well, it's worse on. No, you're right. I didn't see the king. It's better.
Yeah, it's better. Like his hand is very similar to yours, but his cards are more connected.
Yeah.
So he will have better hands, and then so you would just fold pre-flop, and I would also just check fold the flop. I don't think you
Yeah,
have.
it's 6-5.
I just don't think you have enough.
Why did he? How? What?
He min raised under the gun,
Yeah,
which
and
is fine, I guess, and then he just called.
is min raising under the gun ever fine?
No, but like it's not gonna lose that much money. Like his
Okay.
hand is.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like it's whatever.
Okay. Okay. So okay, folding here.
Yeah, pre-flop. I would fold to a raise re-raise from these players.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
because you're from the small blind, the hand.
Yeah, I
doesn't-
think I have to take more, like, pay more attention to the stats actually. What is that a regular? I have 100 hands. He has 23,
Yeah.
13.
That needs to be a regular, yeah.
Because it kind of looks strange to me, like that they all have this big gap between VPIP and
That's not
VPIP
that
and-
big of a gap in PLO.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. Like it's just you don't need to free bet from the button like kings or something. You can just call very often, and that will make the stats look like this.
Okay.
But anyway, like 32-8 is really passive. But yeah, like 23-13 is kind of okay, I think. Like tight, aggressive still.
Okay. Okay, I'm opening weakish kings here, which is okay, but probably a bit loose. We get 2 calls. We flop top set with like 2 connected cards. So let's see what he's doing. He's checking. I'm betting
Yeah,
It's
sure.
for value. Getting 1 call.
So
The
what
three-
do you put him on when he calls?
Well, maybe 7-8.
Yeah.
Maybe a single king, maybe 6-5. However, he can have 6-5 here by calling, maybe a set as well, like
Yeah.
5, 6.
So I would say like
But he shouldn't have 4 deuce that often here. Yeah.
4-7 is the main issue. So, but yeah, I would say the main hand you will see here is something like 6-7-8-9 or
Yeah.
10-9-8-7. Also
Yeah.
considering you have 2 kings, because if you have 2 kings, it's gonna be
Yeah,
a lot
it's
harder for
highly
him to have a king. Like, of course, he would also call on the flop with something like Ace King, Jack 10, but it's just less likely.
Okay.
And 7-8-9 makes a lot of sense. And the 4, like, if the 3 on the turn is kind of bad, but it's one of the better cards
Yeah.
for you. Like, this is a lot better than a 4, for example.
I don't
Even though a 4 is giving you a straight, like I'm just
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. Like
Yeah. True.
let's
Because
say the turn is an 8 or a 7. That's a lot worse, or even a 9 is a lot worse. But the 3 is kind of okay, and I would just pot it here and hope he either puts in the money with 6-6 or 5-5, or folds his straight draw, or puts the money in.
Yeah, I don't like the pot size.
Yeah, the bet is, doesn't.
That's nice.
You give him the odds to call with his draw anyway. So yeah, and I would
Yeah,
call.
and now am I folding here? I don't.
No, I can't fold.
Oh, the 8.
So you had the 7-4, but that's less likely than the 7-8-9, and you need to protect your hand.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the cooler.
Okay.
But you should probably bet more on the turn.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I said the same when I saw it.
Yeah.
Calling.
No, it's fine. Free betting is also fine. Yeah. It depends on how the button plays, but
Yeah, I kind of like the free bet here.
Yeah,
because
it's fine.
he's a loose aggressive,
sure, it's fine.
and he kind of looks like he knows what he does, and he's folding. Gut shot bad flush draw, like really bad flush draw, and
That's not a really bad flush draw. So I don't like checking here because you will just pick up the pot so often when you
okay,
bet 60 cents here or 70 cents. You are almost never getting raised because every time you re-raise, they will or I mean weaker players will think you have aces a lot. So and even if you don't have aces, you will have a lot of ace king and king king. So if you bet here, raising is kind of suicidal for them. So even though you have a hand that does not want, like that would be a pretty big disaster if you bet 60 cents here and get raised. I just think that's not gonna happen very often. And then you're just better off betting because there's a like in his spot, he just needs to fold a lot of hands that have decent equity against you. So let's say he has I don't know, king 10, king 10 9 8 or something. He's just gonna fold, and that hand is flipping against you. Let's say he has a weak ace with nothing else to go with it. Maybe he's just gonna fold the hand. So I think it just plays out a lot better when you bet it yourself. By check calling, you give up initiative, and it's kind of like you need to hit either a queen or a jack or a spade to even continue on the turn. So I don't like checking. Just because the board texture favors you so much and your range that he's not gonna be able to punish a bet.
Okay, he's small. He's betting small. I should call that, I guess.
Sure. But now it plays awkwardly because he gave up initiative.
Yeah, true.
Otherwise, he would just bet the flop and then on the turn just bet again big, and he's gonna be forced to fold a lot of stuff. And even if he calls, you have equity, so it's a lot of better. The situation is a lot better. Okay, so
yeah, that's really awkward.
Yeah, it's
awkward. Pick up
a
gut shot as well.
I think we just need to fold, unfortunately, because the main problem is that the flush draw is not always good. Like it's very easy for him to have something like ace king with ace high spades or something, or ace six even.
Okay.
Like anytime he has the nut flush draw, it's just fucked.
Yeah, true. So the main thing is like you would bet here.
Yeah.
On a re-raise, you would fold, I guess.
That's awkward. Like depends on how much he makes it.
Yeah, if he pots it.
If he pots it, I would probably just fold and assume he has a lot of ace x of spades in his range. And we're not that great against that hand anyway. So but I just think you're not gonna get raised on that flop that often. Like on ace king six, if you have a free betting range that is reasonably tight, they will respect that and will give you credit for betting that.
Okay. Next hand. We have ace king king queen single suited to the king. He is raising. He is calling. I'm just gonna call here.
It depends only on the opener.
He's loose aggressive. I don't know.
Those are really good kings. I mean, it could be better if you have the ace suited, obviously, but this will still be a highly like that hand has a lot of equity pre-flop against weak ranges.
Okay.
So if the opener is pretty loose, then I think that's just gonna make a lot of money. That re-raise, they will all call, and then on favorable flops, you just put your stack in.
Are aces always for betting here?
I mean, very often, yes. But
so with him not for betting here, I can assume that he don't have ace. He doesn't have ace. With me having an ace as well.
Yeah, you just assume they have like weakish hands, like middling hands, and you can put the money in on any flush draw. Like that's fine. And you can also put the money on flops that don't hit the middling hands, like let's say 3, 4, 10 or something. Just pot it in.
I hate this.
Yeah, but the pot is too big. You can't fold.
Yeah.
So I would probably bet a full pot on the flop. It wouldn't have mattered.
What did I do? Okay.
Yeah, like this bet is basically the same. As full potting, because
but you give them the
option to call a bit like,
odds. Yeah.
with better odds. Like it's just, I mean, against that hand, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Like in this spot, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Let's put it that way. But it's just a good habit to have because it's gonna be obvious even to weaker players that if you have $4 in your stack and you bet $2, you're probably not gonna fold your hand.
Yeah, true.
On 10-7 deuce at least with flush draw. So I mean, I just don't see the advantage of betting smaller than full pot.
Yeah, what I learned is sometimes I have just to pick, do I want to go with this hand and then stick it in. Not just calling and yeah. That does help. Good kings, double suited. Limp, raise, re-raise. Call.
If you believe the dude, then you just fold.
You just fold.
Yeah.
Double suited kings.
It's just not gonna play out well for you. Okay, now it is, but
it's
like how.
I don't know how this hand played out. I'm not trapping you again.
So the problem is this: when you call here, first of all, the button will have aces a lot.
Yeah.
And then when you invite a multiple pot like this, the flush draws are also a bit questionable. So you're not gonna get the money in great just because you have an overpair on the flush draw.
Yeah,
like, there's gonna be a lot of spots where the money will go in freeway. You have kings in the flush draw, and one of the guys will have ace flush draw, and the other guy will have a better high hand, and you're gonna be drawn almost dead. So don't like it. Obviously, flop.
I remember that hand actually.
Flopping the king is the best you can hope for, really. But
yeah, I was like, okay, it's a 5-way pot.
Yeah.
I put in money.
But again, like, I don't see any reason for betting 170 here.
Yeah, true.
Because you're just full pot, maximum protection.
What do you like the idea of check raising here?
No. You can't be sure that someone will bet this.
Yeah,
like you can try, but I think betting is probably better.
We get 2 calls, which is by now fine.
Sure.
Which this makes it way better.
Sure.
And I just stick it in.
Sure, I understand. But again, I think.
And I remember I had 50%.
Why does that matter?
It doesn't, but both of them had exactly 25%, which is kind of strange because the high end is so different, and I had exactly 50%.
I mean, like the re-raise from the button is pretty loose. So, but even like if you go back to pre-flop, I think that's the most interesting spot. Like I don't think flop and turn play is that interesting, to be honest. But here it's pretty interesting because I actually don't think calling is that good here. I think if you believe that the button is a bit on the loose aggressive side, full of shit or something, then you can stick in the 4-bet here. But calling puts you in a really bad position. So I would just either like this is again a spot where I would just fold or pot re-raise. And that depends only on the button.
But if I pot re-raise, and what if he comes over to top again, then I have to fold, I guess?
No. Like a pot re-raise is like $2.
Is the button 3-bet loose? Yeah, I think so. He had what, ace?
Yeah, I mean, he showed down a really, like that's not a hand I would 3-bet. I would either fold that
it's rainbow.
Or call, but I would never 3-bet that. So you can see that he's very loose. I mean, loose aggressive. Yeah,
especially we had a limp, we had a raise, and then he's
no, it wasn't like Overshooter. That's wrong. It was a limp, a raise, and then a isolation, like a re-raise. It was not just a limp and a raise.
Versus a limp, you would isolate with that hand, I guess.
What?
Let's say like ace, ace, jack, 10, queen, rainbow. If he's sitting here and this guy is just calling, then you isolate him. Or do you even isolate him with that hand?
Okay, you can, yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, the hand is not that bad, but I just don't see the value in free betting that. I think that's a bit way too loose.
Okay, like I would have, I would never consider like folding this normally, but that's
no, like let's say, okay, this spot is actually quite interesting because when you look at the stats of the players, the limper is very loose apparently. Like this is only 3 hands. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
but,
you can't say it on 3 or 8 hands.
it's kind of hard.
That's simply dumb. Like even like 20 hands, that's by far not enough normally. On the other hand, like I saw 20 hands of him and just raising 5%, so I assume he has a goodish hand, which we see he didn't.
Yeah.
So that's why we have only had 20 hands. So that's
a problem. Like if those stats were 1,000 hands and it's 24-5, then I think we just fold there because it's gonna have aces always. So
yeah.
But if he's capable of doing it light, then kind of like go with the hand. Like it's a bit like even if the players are loose, they are still allowed to have aces sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will still have aces sometimes, and not only can the re-raiser have aces, also the Aldegal limper can have aces, or the those chips dude can have aces.
Yeah.
And the king 9-5 even double suited does not play super well against aces pre-flop all-ins, so it's like 30
yeah,
35%.
Especially because you get into these hard spots where you say like, am I just simply beat here with a higher flush? I don't know. Okay, what else do we have here? It's a large marked hand, but maybe we can take a look at the probably like top 5 lost most money.
Sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, the 50-83 stats doesn't mean a lot if it's only over 8 hands, right? So that's the problem here. For the last hand. It's too early to tell. Okay, we open this, I assume. Or it would be a really weird marked hand.
It's like, am I really open folding? It's kind of loseish, I guess.
No, that's fine. That's a good hand.
I'm not folding in position.
No. You're not folding on the flop either.
Nope.
So the only question is, do we raise or do we just call, you know? And
by what you told me now, I would like just
it depends on the flop texture, but I would also just stick the money in. You don't want to fold any turn, and you give him options to check fold his hand. You give him the option to get away from a hand that he would stack off on the flop with.
Yeah.
So you also now raise, I think, with a hand this strong. And okay.
Look, it's a straight.
But no but. So money goes in really good. I think I would assume you have 60 or so percent, 60 maybe.
Should I put it into the calculator?
You can, but usually there's an option to show the stats here as well, like to go to options, like on the left bottom, show win percentage should usually, like maybe if you turn on the cards, you see the percent. So on the flop you have 66 actually. So yeah,
that's nice.
I mean that's would really surprise some people, but like you have a gut shot, you have a flush draw, and you have a pair where you can make 2 pair or trips. So.
Or a full house.
That as well, yeah.
Or even better, what about quads?
No. Quads never happen. Back the quad.
Sure.
Run a quad.
All the time. At some table, always.
But
not in my tables.
But I also don't think the other guy played that hand badly at all. Like that's very standard. Okay. Whatever. Like just what do you want to look at? The biggest pots?
The biggest winning spots? Oh look, that's kind of nice. If I filter it by
big blinds.
Yeah, one. How many big blinds I won?
Yeah, it's just filtering for biggest pot size, right?
Yeah, because we have losing in here. But what I think, like, what I wanted to say is, what's nice is that I won the top, maybe like 9.
Yeah, that's
winning.
Good. That's good.
Let's start with this hand. I think did we take a look at it?
No, I don't think so.
Let me see when that happened.
No,
it was way back in 2015. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's kind of strange.
Why did you? Oh, you did play some PLO in 2015, huh?
Yeah, but I didn't have the tracking, so it just it put it in the database, and now when I bought the Omaha, it
Oh
just
yeah, okay.
got them out of the archive there. Um, yeah, every now and then I played a bit, but like 1 cent, 2 cent or 2 cent, 5 cent max. Das ist komisches Harz, ne? Yeah.
Neues Update schon heute. Neue Expansion.
Can I? How can I? Well, what we can do is like there were not too many sessions, I guess. It's like it started around here. Then we just take a look at. Put it over here. Big blinds. So we have the biggest. That is nice.
How did you lose? Okay, we looked at this kind of thing. But what's the losing pot there? 50 big blinds where you had nothing on the flop. That would be interesting.
I don't know. What? I can't.
That was the first hand we discussed.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. This one.
Yeah. Oh, we already talked about that, I think. Yeah, we already talked about it.
Yeah.
That was the rap. I don't know. Like we should have talked about all the big hands here, but just from general, like first of all, it's very important to quickly identify the retards.
Yeah.
I would say on this limit, because you need to play quite differently against them, and then you just have some. I think some problems that you are playing too loose in some positions or in some situations, and you are
calling too much.
Sometimes not identifying a situation where you have a raise or fold spot, and you either need to stick your money in or fold, and you just call, and then it gets awkward sometimes. But overall, you're doing okay. You're probably like a small winner by now on these stakes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the point. What is it? 0.09 big blinds per 100. I have.
It doesn't really matter. That's not
No,
enough hands.
the thing is like I have something in the database which is from I don't know back when, and it says like I lost at Omaha $600, which I never did because I never played about 600 and something in high low as well because you can't calculate it as something like that. It's like
yeah, maybe if you have really old hand histories, it's importing it wrong or something.
Yeah.
But
you have the same when you play like KO, for example. Then it was like, okay, you won $1,500 at the $1.50.
Yeah, or some tournaments or something, right?
Yeah.
But also, yeah, small blind hands is a good point because you are playing way too loose from the small blind. I think. Especially like as a caller, you just can't get away with playing trash hands from the worst position.
Yeah.
Especially hands that especially hands that are really difficult to play. Like and all those hands that can't really make the nuts are super difficult to play, even in position, and then out of position you just open up the world of pain, basically.
I think we watched. No,
we didn't watch that one. What happened?
Why did I? Okay, the opening is quite loose, but
no, that's fine.
Okay. He's re-raising. I'm calling. He's calling. We have a rep. Is that a rep?
That's an inside rep.
Yeah. Isn't it the same?
That's
no.
9 outs.
Okay. So we have 9 outs. So we call.
Sure.
He's folding. No, I still have 9 outs.
Yeah.
He's raising.
He's betting.
And I was like...
Yeah, he was like, I should fold, but hey, I guess I raise. Or what?
No, I think I was like, I have the aces.
So you have 28% here, right? I mean, if you think...
Question mark.
Like you're getting pot odds, so at the bottom you see 28% is needed to call you.
Yeah,
And you have 9 odds, so that's a bit less. That's
yeah,
like
that's 20%.
So if you think you will get paid if you hit your straight, then you can call. I think it's better to fold though, because he could, first of all, he could have.
We saw it, yeah, but
No, it doesn't matter that much, but like he could have had like ace, king, jack 10 or something, where even if you hit the queen for the straights, it's a split
we are
pot.
splitting.
So
Yeah.
I would say that's optimistic to say that you have 20% and you will always get the $2 if you hit. That's a bit too optimistic, so I would just fold here. But calling isn't terrible, and raising is just bad. Because he's never folding, and you never have the best hand.
And here I was like, oh no, man.
Unlucky,
I
always
got
the
bad beaten again.
So yeah.
That was that hand. Yeah, I think that was the day where I didn't play that well. I'm not sure. I think we watched this hand.
We watched this. So I think re-raising again.
Yeah. Okay. Don't want too much. Okay, what is this? We didn't watch that hand, did we?
No.
No.
Okay, that's fine. Get free bet, that's fine. Probably call, that's fine. Flop top 2, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Assuming you go in here. That's fine. That's just a normal hand. Nothing really to talk about. But he got lucky. Or not lucky, this is one of those spots which basically, this is the reason why Omar has a high variance. Yeah. Just because it's unavoidable for him or for you to get the money in here. So it's like...
You don't get the money in here, yeah.
It's just this, the money will always go in from both sides, and then we'll see who wins. And if you get on the wrong end of the winning part a couple of times in a row, then you're down a lot of money.
We watched this and saying like you should bet 60 or 70 cent here, max.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Makes a lot more sense.
I think I'd just take a look at the next session, because this is this one.
Heute gibt's kein Live-Play. Shadow Ghosts.
Nee.
Sind schon fast am Ende.
That's loose.
Yeah, that pre-flop is a bit loose, but yeah, okay.
I think we watched this hand, did we?
Yeah.
Where you said like...
raise is better.
Don't call here, just put it in. Yeah. What about this hand? Is probably as well. I think I marked mainly the big... Oh, we didn't watch this one.
No, we didn't. So yeah, 4-betting is standard.
Yeah.
Get called. So on most flops with this stack size, we'll just pot. But this is maybe a spot where we want to bet a bit less. Like $1 only. Checking is bad, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's not gonna stab at that board texture after you 4-bet. Like
yeah, that's true.
He's not gonna like randomly bet as a bluff. If he gets 4-bet, oh god. Okay.
Shit.
Okay. You got yourself into a lot of trouble, my son.
I know. Especially because I know I lost his hand. Shit. Okay, yeah, it makes sense that you say like if I 4-bet here and there's an ace coming down.
If you
he
for
will
some
never step at this.
if for some reason you decided to 4-bet a hand like 9-8-7-6, and the flop is ace 10 deuce, wouldn't you just bet some amount to make him fold?
Yeah,
I probably would. So by checking, you make it really obvious your faces. And
it's like I know I don't have. I have nothing. I'm checking.
Especially on ace 10 deuce, because there's plenty of straight draws which can call you.
Yeah, no.
And there's plenty of like it's bad to give a free card to a gotcha who would have folded. If the flop is ace deuce deuce, then checking is also very obvious, but at least you're not gonna lose the pot because of it.
I was also calling here because I was like, okay, I can.
Yeah, you can have kings or queens and bluff with it, sure.
Yeah, and I can represent the.
What? You can't represent anything.
No, if there's another diamond cup.
Okay, that's great, but look at how much in the pot is.
You say that's great, but your voice doesn't say it.
No, there's $6.20 in the pot. Are you calling here
Yeah.
with $3 behind and saying if the flush hits, you can bluff him from out of a straight or what?
Probably not. No.
Like, this is not gonna happen. Like, if he has the straight, you will lose that money.
But he has. Well, what also bugs me is that he has a stats of 47, 44 with a 40% three betting range over 40 hands.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean
So-
like that's.
No, what I
doesn't
did
mean
is
that-
like I folded here, I think.
What? No. No.
And what I think is like I need to call here.
That's an easy call
No matter.
because like even though on the flop they don't bluff,
Yeah.
aggressive players will still bluff when you check twice, especially on ace jack 10 if they have king king or queen queen, which is very possible considering your hand.
And he can have a flush draw as well. Just plain it over.
So once you take this line, which I would not recommend, I think the river is an easy call. It's also you're getting a great price here. You don't need to be good that often. Like,
Yeah, true.
so I think.
Yeah, okay. No, like the fold.
Why? I mean, you're marking so many boring hands where you just like raise kings, flop a king, and put the money in. Like, and now we are watching the real games here.
Because those hands I marked, they are not clear to me. Like by now.
You should mark. Like, I mean, maybe if we go through the list, we find some more games. Like that hand was very interesting.
Some more
Like,
games.
why didn't we see more of them? That would be better.
We watched this one.
Yes, we watched this one. Maybe you should just send me the database and I select the hands.
Yeah,
and
you
not,
can do that.
and not your select the hands. Where you open double suited aces and flop top set and put the money in and you won. Like what?
Okay, let's see. I think that's the next session. No, we watched this one already, did we? I'm pretty sure we watched this hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-betted. Okay.
That was not okay, but yeah, we watched it.
You're so mean. Yeah, we watched this as well.
Yeah, we didn't watch this one. What happened here?
But yeah, I just gave up, I guess.
But even those hands are like okay.
Oh.
So what are you? Why?
don't-
Why?
Because I was like,
There's a limper. There's a race. Do you think they will fold?
no,
Do you think you have the best hand?
no,
Are you in a good position, like after the flop? Like,
Not too
do you
much.
have the button or something? Like this,
what's that? I don't
this is a small pot, but this is really like losing a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
Just
I
saying.
know. No, I think it was at that day, on the 5th, I played 2 sessions. And I think, no, was it that day? I'm not sure. And I had one day where I played a really long session, that it was the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played on the 7th, and yeah, that was basically standard. And I played 700 hands, and there was no big pot, you see? Like
Yeah,
100.
but maybe the big pots are not that interesting.
Yeah, just look at the losing points. This open is really loose.
That is really terrible open, yeah.
No, we call it really loose. We don't call it really terrible.
Okay, so you flop top 2.
We're still learning.
You flop
Yeah.
top 2. You probably bet like 50 cents here. Okay. Get called and raised. I would just fold here. Reason is that your hand, like your hand could be good now, but
On the long run, yeah, on the.
but with the race is kind of saying he has a better hand or the same hand. Then
And here's and both of them have a big.
there's a lot of money in play here, and there's no
Yeah.
turn. Like there's no card you want to see really on the turn. Like
An 8.
an ace or an ace, an ace or an 8 is good, or a king offsuit maybe. But like what's gonna happen if you call is the turn will
You
be
have to.
unfavorable. and someone will bet and he will just fold.
Yeah.
So he just
I think
lose.
I have to think more into the future. Like, do I want to go with this hand?
Yeah.
What we said before. Like, do you want
This
to
is
go
also a
with this hand
spot
now?
where calling is kind of bad and will just
And
lose
then
one
if you
dollar.
don't want to go with it, just fold.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm calling.
And I just think you can't put the money in against his range. Like
Yeah,
with
and
ace-8,
this is
no
like the
redraw.
worst, probably like the worst card in the deck.
Sure. So yeah, of course, check fold. But I just think that on the flop you can just fold because these are it's like can't profitably continue with a car.
Okay,
So
we have.
Yeah.
No, sorry, didn't want to interrupt you.
Sure. It's fine.
Okay, we have a mid position, a great hand.
That's a decent hand, yeah. Yes, it's fine. Like, the openness seems very loose, so don't mind this. Get 4-bet by...
It's Johnny.
It's Johnny. There must be a really good player. I would just fold my hand. So okay.
No.
Yeah.
No,
We basically when this happens, we get cold 4-bet. We put them on aces, right? Unless it's $5 zoom and.
Unless it's the guy with deuce, 3-4.
Yeah. So we put them on aces. We call because we have 40 or 45% against aces, and.
Yeah, you would always call here out of position as well.
The position doesn't matter with the stack size. You just call because you have 40% against aces, and he has aces. And you're getting a good price, getting 2-1. On this flop, obviously, we're check folding, but he checks behind, okay? I would not try to bluff. Okay, that's fine.
I did it.
Okay, Schrip.
That for that session. What about this session? Did we? I think I loaded that up.
So I think it would be more interesting to look at the small hands where you lose or win a medium-sized pot.
Yeah.
And not the big all-in, because the big all-ins, they kind of play themselves usually. Like this will play itself.
Yeah, we watched this.
And it's not that interesting. Even though it's a big pot, and big pots are cool, it's not that interesting. It doesn't like when our goal should be to improve.
Well, the thing is, like, I still have problems with like the hands who play it.
Sure.
Themselves.
But like this will be a lot more interesting, right? This hand.
You would fold this. No, you wouldn't. I was like, what would Johnny do? He would raise it.
No, it depends on the big blind. Like.
Yeah, he's a maniac.
Yeah, then I would just fold it. Like, but when you raise here with a mediocre hand like this, you better have some fold equity. Like you better be against someone who will fold sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
The blind.
Yeah, I know that concept. That's a great turn.
What happened? Check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check on the flop.
The turn is giving you a top pair and an open end. So I would try to keep the pot small and just check call it.
No, I was like, okay, either I check here and try to keep it small, or I put him due to his check on some draws as well.
I mean, I don't hate a bet here. I don't think it matters that much. Like, a bet has merits as well, but you would really hate to get raised.
Yeah, he's never raising.
And they really will play awkwardly. So
and I was like,
what is the purpose of this bet?
To get him to fold.
So you're bluffing with check 9 here, and what would he fold here? Like, do you think he folds an ace?
A hard flush draw.
But if he has a hard flush draw, you have the best hand. Do you think he folds an ace?
No, because he has a hard flush draw with single ace. Yeah.
He's never folding an ace here. Never.
A single ace.
Never. Like the two pairs is an obvious call. Okay, that doesn't matter. But like if this guy, or if a normal, or if the guy, an average opponent here, comes to the river with an ace, he's calling, because there's so many draws that missed, and it's very possible you were betting with a hard draw or a club draw or some kind of jack 10 hand, and you missed. So turning the jack 9 into a bluff on the ace makes no sense, because I don't think an ace will fold.
What about kings? What about queens?
Why would he have that? Like, that makes no sense. He just called pre-flop. He didn't bet the flop. Like, that's very small.
Would kings and queens bet the flop here? Blind or blind?
Probably not, but like, if he has kings, he's probably re-raising most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, kings and queens are a very small part of his range. He's gonna have two hands, like either some kind of two pair, which is never folding, or he has a flush draw, where you are beating it anyway with the 9, unless he has an ace, but he's not folding an ace. So the only hand that maybe folds here, which beats you, is something like Queen 9 with hearts or something. I don't know. Like maybe if he has a bit of a better 9, he could fold it technically.
Yeah.
But he's never folding 2 pair. I don't think he's folding an ace.
Okay.
So yeah.
That was interesting. Yeah, maybe we should take a look at.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. I think that is completely rubbish.
But I mean, on those flops, it's not very likely that he has anything either, and you have some backdoors. So I don't hate calling or raising here as a bluff. Like it's obviously the call is float, like just.
Yeah. When he checks on the 10, I think betting is fine.
Sure, that's the plan, right? You call on the flop with nothing, so that if he checks on the turn, you can take away the pot. So you check back, which makes no sense. And now you hope for bluff.
No,
okay, now I bet. Yeah, I mean.
Yes, kings. It's not funny. Yeah, I should have betted on the turn.
Yeah.
And if he calls there, then maybe bet on the river again.
Sure. Like that's. I don't know if he would fold, but.
Yeah, maybe, probably not that specific.
But like you call on the flop with the intention of stealing the pot later. And I think if you want to do that, you should do that on turn. Because once you check behind the turn, it's kind of hard to represent a very strong hand. Yeah. So this is an easy fold. I hope you fold it. And mark this just to show the fold. So yeah, that's again too loose from the small bet. Yeah, way too loose. And don't like this at all.
Getting fancy here.
Because
I like it more than a call.
Yeah, okay, but why are you trying to represent an ace in a freeway pot when there's a like I don't know. Yeah, you can do this sometimes.
I have some small blind, and I was like, okay, I don't want to play that. We watched this hand, did we? Yeah, we did. I don't want to play that many hands out of small blind, but in the end, I think I ended up.
So this is also an easy fold pre-flop. Like this, you need to play a lot tighter, I think, or you lose in the wrong spots. You're playing too many hands in the wrong spots. Because playing 30% of hands isn't that crazy.
Yeah.
But I think you are probably not positionally aware. Like, for example, in these games, I would probably raise from the button like 90-95% of hands.
Yeah.
But you're probably not doing that. You're probably raising like 50%. But then you're playing a bunch of hands from the small blind and from early position, which I would just fold. So I think positional awareness is going to be something you should improve on or work on.
Yeah. Yeah, true. True.
So, of course, it's important to play the big pots, but like those are usually not that hard to play, especially the ones where, like, I'm gonna take it back actually, but when the stack to pot ratio is very small, it's not that hard to play. So let's say the pot was 4-bet or 5-bet pre-flop, and you have less than a pot size bet left, then the decision is really obvious usually. So those are often very big pots, but the like not super interesting, I think. But yeah. Hey, for Vienda. Poker English.
I'm gonna write down less hands from small blind.
No, like just generally in spots where you are unfavored, like in spots where you will be out of position after the flop a lot, like that's general. Like it's also from early position.
Or out of position. Yeah.
It's from early position and from the small blind.
Yeah. And then decision. Do you want to go with a hand? Stick it in.
Yeah. So exactly, like there were at least 5 or 6 spots where I think you were in a spot where you should fold or go in, and you decided to call, which, I mean, maybe in half or maybe in most of the spots it didn't matter in the end anyway, but that's not really the point.
Yeah. Don't call too much. Don't call not that much.
And also like you need to be very careful about re-raising pre-flop with rundowns. Because you were re-raising a lot of times with hands like 8, 7, 6, 5, single suited, which the situation needs to be perfect for that to be a good play. Like the opener needs to be predictable. You should have position. He's gonna give you credit for a good hand. He has a big stack, like you're deep with him or something. Like the situation needs to be good. It's not an automatic re-raise because you have 8, 7, 6, 5. Because a lot of the time, like there's a small stack opening for a min raise. A guy calls, you go over the top from the small blind with 8, 7, 6, 5. That's not gonna work out. Anyways, that's not gonna work out for you.
Yeah, that's the problem which I have is like maybe I thought it's a value raise here because I have a rundown, which is good.
Yeah, you should maybe put some hands in the calculator, because like if I put in 8, 7, 6, 5 with one suit, and put it against 50% of hands, you're probably gonna be a underdog. What did I do? So we're gonna put in 8, 7, 6, 5, and against half the hands, against 50% of hands, you have 42%.
Can you show it on screen?
Yeah. So this is just pre-flop stats. This is our hand, and this is 50% of hands. You have 42%. If you make it 70%.
Okay, and they never have 50%.
So let's say against the random hand, it's still an underdog, 45%. So you can't free bet this for value against any range. It's just a move for deception. But
which is not necessarily normally.
But against a bunch of fish cakes who are min raising and playing every hand, deception is not really our goal.
The bugfish.
So the suited connectors are kind of like, you can't really re-raise for value. Basically, you can re-raise for other reasons, mainly deception, or to play a big pot with someone who is deep stacked and you have position and you can outplay them. I mean, like let's say they give you a lot of credit and they have 200 big blinds and they open from the cutoff and you have 200 big blinds as well and you free bet them from the button with this hand. Then that's a good spot.
So what you say is like, if you want to 3-bet someone, just do it with a regular. Because he can give you credit.
You just, on these tables, you just 3-bet them for value only. And
not even the regulars.
You can 3-bet the regular if you're sure it's a regular. And if you're sure...
If he has, let's say he has like 2015.
But the situation needs to be right.
Yeah,
like, sure. For example, the small blind and the big blind need to be regulars as well, and not some people who will just overcall there as well. Like that ruins the play. So
you never
on this table I would I would just never free bet a speculative hand, because if you wait for good kings and aces to free bet, they will they will pay you off anyway.
Yeah, true.
Like maybe not in the obvious spots, like if you use aces and it's ace deuce and they stack off with kings, that's not gonna happen, but there will be plenty of spots where you make a big pot with double suited aces and you flop a flush draw and the dude puts the money in with like top pair, no flush draw. Sure. Something like this. So you just play for value mainly, and deception is kind of not needed, at least for now. And there will be some situations where it's a good move, but it's probably like once every 1,000 hands or so, where the situation is good.
Okay.
What you can do is free bet for value lighter. Like you can look at a guy opening maybe a bit too loose, and then you just free bet them with ace king
Double suited.
10-6 suited to the ace or something.
Yeah.
Like something which you want to play anyway, and you just think it's ahead of their range, and you just free bet it. Especially in position, that's something I would do, but I would not do it with speculative hands. Alright. See you next week, I guess.
Wait, 3 bets versus obvious fish with goodish hands. Or with good hands.
I mean, we can mix it up. We can also do a live session again next week or so.
Yeah, I think we have to talk about because I didn't expect it to take that long to watch all the hands. To be fair.
Yeah, but
it makes sense. Like when you learn something, you need to put in theory, and most people just learn by like doing it. But the learn progress is so much slower if you just play and don't watch the hands.
Yeah, sure. But like I also think you're maybe not aware of all the mistakes. Like you're marking.
Yeah, true.
Maybe the wrong hands, and then like maybe have a better chance of catching the mistakes if I watch you live play.
Yeah, true.
Especially if I don't say anything, like if I just let you play and just talk about the hand afterwards or something.
Yeah.
I don't there was some really loose plays, like things where I feel like you should know that that's a fold. But you play the hand anyway.
It also depends on how long I play, and what the how the hands before played out. Or, for example, I didn't get a hand in 20 hands, and then I was like, okay, it's I know it's a loose open, and I remember one time saying, okay, I know this might be too loose, but I open now because. Before that hand, there were like some situations where all of them simply like snap folded, and I felt like, okay, what we had when we played the live session.
Yeah.
We said like they are all really tight.
Sure, but still, like the gain of having them all fold is 7 cents, right? So, I mean,
sure, it's still a big blind.
You can probably get away with opening a ton of hands from the button, but like from under the gun or something, like
true.
It's just someone will play too often. Right.
Yeah, true.
So it's probably gonna be just live play. Don't really like pre-recorded sessions. So yeah. So okay, thanks for watching, guys. See you next week for the coaching. Thanks, David.
Thanks again.
Right.
See ya.
See you.